foul on Sophie Cunningham. That is her first team second. Coming in for Phoenix number 14, Dewanna.
We're pouring one out for the career of Dewanna Bonner. Pouring one out for the career of Dewanna Bonner because she is washed.
In a league built on skill, pride, and passion, tensions are bound to rise. But what happened recently at Gainbridge Fieldhouse shocked WNBA fans across the nation. One of the league's most seasoned veterans, Dewanna Bonner, walked onto the court and was met with a chorus of boos. But why? What's behind the fan backlash? And what does it say about the evolving culture in the WNBA? Today we dive into the moment Dewanna Bonner was booed at an Indiana Fever game and explore what it really means for the league, the players, and the fans. The matchup was supposed to be electric. The Connecticut Sun versus the Indiana Fever. Two teams on very different trajectories, yet both with something to prove. The Fever, powered by rookies like Caitlin Clark and driven by stars like Aaliyah Boston, were fighting to cement their place as a playoff-caliber squad. The Sun, on the other hand, were steady veterans, dominant, seasoned, and unafraid of the spotlight. On that night, as fans packed the arena wearing Fever colors and Clark jerseys, there was anticipation in the air. And when Connecticut's Dewanna Bonner, an icon of the WNBA, stepped onto the hardwood, that anticipation turned into something more. Something unexpected. The five-time All-Star and two-time WNBA champion had just entered the game and was instantly met with jeers from Indiana fans. For those unfamiliar with the WNBA, the moment might seem like an odd blip. But for those in the know, it represented something deeper, perhaps a cultural shift in the sport itself. Before we dig deeper into the incident, it's important to know who Dewanna Bonner is. Standing at 6'4", Bonner has been a dominant force in the WNBA for over a decade. She was drafted 5th overall in 2009 and quickly established herself as a versatile scorer and tenacious defender. She's won 2 WNBA championships with the Phoenix Mercury, has been named an All-Star 5 times, and remains one of the most respected veterans in the league. Off the court, she's known for her fierce loyalty, passion for the game, and her open relationship with teammate and fiancée, Alyssa Thomas, making her one of the most prominent. So, for someone with her stature to get booed, it wasn't about disrespect. It was about something else entirely. This year, Indiana is in the spotlight like never before. Caitlin Clark's arrival via the WNBA draft transformed the Fever from a rebuilding team into a media sensation. Every game is sold out, every play is magnified, and every opposing player becomes a target of intense scrutiny. Fever fans are loud, passionate, and fiercely protective of their young stars, especially Caitlin Clark, who's drawn both adoration and controversy in her first season. That makes Gainbridge Fieldhouse one of the rowdiest environments in the WNBA right now. And when emotions are running high, fans aren't afraid to voice their opinions, especially when they feel their players are being wronged or disrespected. That's exactly what they felt had happened in the previous matchup between the Fever and the Sun. Let's rewind a bit. In an earlier game between these two teams, Bonner and the Sun were accused, at least by fans and media, of playing overly physical against Caitlin Clark. Hard fouls, sharp elbows, tough defense. Nothing dirty per se, but enough to rile up the Fever fan base. Many took to social media after that game, accusing Connecticut of targeting Clark. And Dewanna Bonner, with her trademark intensity, was at the center of it all. Even though Bonner didn't commit any flagrant fouls, her role as a vocal and physical leader made her the face of that physicality. She jawed back and forth with Fever players, played Clark aggressively, and walked away from that matchup with the win and the heat. So when Bonner walked into Gainbridge Fieldhouse the next time, the crowd hadn't forgotten. It was the second quarter. Connecticut was leading, but only by a slim margin. The game had been physical again, bodies hitting the floor, tempers flaring, whistles flying. Dewanna Bonner checked in. The crowd recognized her instantly. The boos started as murmurs and quickly swelled. It wasn't a one-time sound, it lasted. Every time Bonner touched the ball, fans booed. When she lined up for a free throw, the jeers were deafening. Even some courtside Fever fans waved signs referencing the last game. It was jarring. Not because Bonner isn't used to hostile crowds, she is, but because WNBA fans are typically known for their sportsmanship and respect, especially toward legends of the game. To her credit, Bonner didn't flinch. She smiled. She laughed. She hit a mid-range jumper and looked straight into the crowd, shaking her head. Later, when she drained a clutch three, she cupped her ear as if to say, "Is that all you've got?" It was vintage Dewanna Bonner, unshaken, unbothered, and still elite. After the game, she was asked about the boos. Her response? They love their team. I respect that, but I've been in this league long enough to know. You can't let the noise define you. You gotta embrace it. Feed off it. A veteran's answer. Poised and powerful. But still, the incident sparked major discussion online and within the WNBA community. What we're seeing here isn't just one isolated moment, it's part of a broader shift happening in the WNBA. For the first time in its history, the league is experiencing true crossover fandom. Caitlin Clark brought millions of college basketball fans into the WNBA, many of whom are still adjusting to the culture of professional women's basketball. These fans are passionate, vocal, sometimes extreme. And with that comes a growing sense of tribalism, where us versus them starts to blur the line between fandom and hostility. Players like Bonner, who've built their careers through quiet consistency, are now dealing with crowds that are louder, more aggressive, and frankly, less forgiving. It's a sign that the league is growing, but also evolving into something more intense. Sports talk shows, podcasts, and social media all lit up after the game. Some analysts defended the fans, saying, "It's part of the game. Booing isn't disrespect, it's passion." Others criticized the behavior. Dewanna Bonner is a legend. She deserves applause, not jeers. The WNBA shouldn't go the way of toxic fan culture. Even WNBA players weighed in. Aaliyah Boston posted on X, "Whether you cheer or boo, you still gotta respect greatness." Former star Swin Cash added, "Booing legends ain't the flex you think it is." And perhaps most poignantly, former teammate Diana Taurasi said in a radio interview, "They boo Dewanna because she's still a threat." That tells you everything you need to know. So what does this moment mean? First, it shows that the WNBA is finally entering a new era, one where games are sold out, rivalries are heated, and fan bases are deeply invested. Second, it highlights the tension between old-school veterans and new-age stars. There's no beef. But there is a contrast between players who've earned everything quietly and players who arrive with media empires and cameras from day one. And third, it proves that Dewanna Bonner, even in her 15th season, still matters, still feared, still elite. They don't boo nobodies. They boo legends who can still take over games. So the next time you hear boos in a WNBA arena, listen carefully. Because sometimes that sound isn't about hate. It's about fear, respect, rivalry. It's about a fan base that knows exactly who the biggest threat on the court is. And on that night in Indiana, it was Dewanna Bonner. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We've got more WNBA stories, interviews, and analysis coming your way. Until next time, stay loud, stay passionate, and always respect the game.